I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, but it's gotta be said. Lacrosse training is broken, and it really needs to change. And in this video, I'm going to give you a smarter, more effective path to achieving your lacrosse dreams, whatever those may be. Whether you want to play in college, go pro, get more playing time, or bulletproof your mind. But honestly, this video is not for everyone, so if you don't even think you're going to make it to the end, just exit out now. Here's the tea. Women's lacrosse is changing rapidly. Thanks to social media and highlight reels, the women's game has evolved into what I like to call the new game. Let's break it down. In the new game, everything is faster. Footwork, decision-making, shot, your stick skills, your agility, your dodging progressions, everything is super quick.
I'm fast as
There's also a lot more pressure on your skills than ever before. More contact to absorb, new moves that you need to master, and fluidity in your stick isn't good enough anymore. In the new game, you need to be able to dominate ball security. So your skills gotta be so good they're second nature, where you can take a hit on your arm, on your elbow, on your hips, on your ribs, on your body, and keep moving forward through your finish.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
And finally, for the first time, we're streaming games. So young players are starting to watch some of these moves, try them at a younger age, and develop a lot faster. This has also brought a lot of new athletes into the sport, increasing the level of talent and competition. And so because of all of this, right, the speed, the pressure, the exposure, women's lacrosse is more demanding now than ever, which is great, right? This is the evolution that we've always wanted. Yeah! But
God, please, no! No!
while the game has evolved, the training methods have not kept up. Most trainers, coaches, club teams, they're stuck in the past, using outdated methods that were invented when we were still playing with wooden sticks.
Damn!
I mean, face it, you were probably told, hit the wall more to practice more stick work, to sharpen your skills. Coaches are still having you do the mariachi dance through ladders and calling it footwork training, or worse, dodge work. Or, my personal favorite, you have an in-person coach putting you through those same boring, bland drills that lack variability and charging your parents an arm and a leg for training. And you're not seeing any real growth or result. You're in the backyard. You were confused. You're trying to do things, but you don't even know what you're doing is right. You're hitting skill plateaus because your coaches haven't read a book on skill acquisition science. And you're just getting frustrated. You're not where you want to be. You feel behind. And I know I sound like I'm trolling, but I'm not wrong. It's what brought you here to this very video. And that is just on the lacrosse side, which is just one piece of the training pie. So here's the kicker. Even if you did figure out all of the physical stuff, just doing that alone will not get you to that college commitment that you want, because you'd still be missing a very important piece of the training pie: mental performance training.
I am the one, the way your son don't need.
The reality is that you can have the best training program out there. You can do all of the best skill drills, wall ball shooting, footwork that you want. You can be the strongest in your team, the most dynamic mover. But if you freeze up in games, if you can't come back after making a mistake, if you have no self-talk protocols in place and no idea how to quiet that inner voice, then you can't access your skill when you need it. And let me tell you how something like this goes. The second you start to see a college coach roll up on your game to watch you in a tournament, you freeze up, you get tense, you shell up in the game, you don't take those risks, you don't play your game, but a much more shy, reserved version, because you don't know how to handle that pressure. You don't know how to turn it on when you need it. And the saddest part is that you know exactly what you need to do. You know you can do it. You've done it before in practice, in training, in other games. But it's like something just goes off and your body and your mind cannot connect. And that makes all of that physical training that you do, I hate to say it, but a waste. And that is a problem.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
So look, it's not your fault you're not getting the results that you want. The current lacrosse training ecosystem is broken, and it's only scratching the surface of what you truly need. And it's not just frustrating for players. I've sat with parents who spent thousands and thousands of dollars on camps, clinics, tournaments, and traveling, only to watch their kids' confidence crumble because they can't perform when it matters most. So before all this growing the game that we're trying to do, we need to change it. And you might be like, who are you, lady?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
How do you know? What do you know? And why should I listen to you? Well, I'm Daria, and believe me, I've been in your shoes before. Or cleats. Sorry, had to. And honestly, this is the first time I'm really telling my story, so here you go. I was cut from high school varsity my freshman year, and I'll never forget that coach turning to me in front of the rest of the players that made it, saying, Daria, you should probably stick to ice hockey. And I heard giggles, my face turned bright red, and I had never been so embarrassed in my entire life. My confidence was completely shook. I thought I was too small and wasn't going to be able to play anywhere. I knew I wanted to play in college. I just had no idea how it was all going to work together.
I don't get this.
I was absolutely clueless. I didn't know how to properly train in the backyard. I didn't have anyone around me that had been there before. And I didn't really grow up in a lacrosse dominated area. And so I just felt so far behind the rest of the players my age. And I would get in my head a lot. I wouldn't know how to come back from mistakes. I was told I was my own worst enemy. I didn't know how to find flow in a game, and I'd freeze up. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect because I knew I could do the moves. I just couldn't access them when I needed them. And it just took a lot of the joy out of the journey for me. I was just killing myself trying to be a perfectionist, not knowing how to manage my expectations. And it was really difficult, not just on me, but my mom too. She just wanted to give me all the opportunities she could. But she didn't know where to start either. Other parents wouldn't share what camps or clinics they were doing or anything they knew about the recruiting process. My mom and I were both in the same boat. Confused, frustrated, uncertain, and sinking boat. But I refused to give up. I didn't have any other choice but to become my own coach. And so I'd watch football and basketball trainers break down the science to their training methods and innovating on new techniques and drills. And I would pluck and pull each of those drills and try to mold them to fit lacrosse. I'd test them in my backyard. I tracked everything through a training log, and I started to read anything I could get my hands on when it came to the mind. Because I realized that if I wanted to earn a roster spot on a college team, I was going to need to train in a system of my mind, my body, and my lacrosse skill. And slowly I started to win the days, then the weeks, then the months in training. And my mom helped me navigate the recruiting process with emails, camp visits, and follow-ups. And just about a year later, I was sitting in my high school coach's office, committing to play at a top D1 school. From being cut to committed. Just about a year later, my mom and I had done it. Using these principles, training in a system, and having fun while doing it, that worked. It all worked. So I kept going. I kept refining. I kept building my skill and my craft. And 3 years later, I was standing under confetti in Long Island, New York, holding a national championship trophy after finishing a freshman year where I actually got to play. My mom and I had really done it. This ship was sailing. And that was just the beginning. My sophomore year, I earned a starting spot. We ended up winning 3 CAA titles, and dare I say it would have been a 4th if COVID didn't happen, if the pando. Still a little salty about that one. But nonetheless, I was living out my dream. But the real game changer was a little unexpected. My strength coach in college, he didn't just make me a better player. He invested in me as a person. And having that kind of mentor made all the difference for me. And that is when I realized having someone that's been there, that's done it, who holds you accountable, tells you what to read, watch, absorb, is there to answer any questions that you have, handle you at your hardest, give you the plan forward, listen to you when you just need to talk it out, and above all, who truly, truly cares about you. That was the ultimate cheat code. And I wish I had someone like that earlier in my life. And so I decided to become that for the next girl up. And that is why I'm creating the Anti-Fragile Lacrosse Training System, or AFL for short. And it's the only development blueprint that transforms female lacrosse players from the inside out. You'll build a bulletproof mind, fluid athleticism, and complete game mastery. It's built with 5 key pillars in mind: science-backed skill development, data-driven progress tracking, mental fitness, the most important pillar of all, the one that you will continue to use for the rest of your life, athletic development, and all of it packaged in a fun and engaging way, because getting better should not be a chore, but where you fall in love with that learning process. And you put all these 5 pillars together, and I want you to imagine you're walking onto the field knowing
I know something you don't know.
not wishing, not hoping, but knowing that you can perform your best whenever you want. And that's exactly what this system delivers. Like, imagine having that confidence to take control of the game when it matters most.
Crushed it.
Like flipping a switch into your performer self, because you've trained your mind, your body, and your lacrosse skill the right way. So the next time that coach does come to watch you play, you're excited. You can't wait to put on a show.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
And so I'm really excited to fully bring this system to life through a mentorship program for serious lacrosse players. Whether you want to play in college, go pro, make varsity, or just become a more confident athlete in person, I'm here to help you get there. And after years of developing players, tracking their progress, I found something kind of surprising. Online training, when done right, is actually more effective than in-person training, and here's why. You give a player a cue, they'll dominate for a day. But if you teach them why that cue matters, they'll dominate their entire career. And that's the secret that no coach is going to tell you. It's about empowering athletes to learn how to teach themselves. And does that mean that there's an end date to our training together? Yeah, but there should be. A great coach teaches players how to feel into their own movement patterns, develop awareness, future-proof routines for their mind, and explore that skill on their own. And that's what it's all about. Through the AFL training system, you're going to get detailed film feedback on your drills. You're going to learn at your own pace and sit and have more time to absorb the lessons, be guided through the writing exercises, having someone to hold you accountable through weekly check-ins. someone that can answer your questions and have guided conversations with you through constant support. So whether you want to hop on a call and go through a specific writing exercise together, talk through your recruiting process, or just need someone to listen, I am here for it. The mentorship and having someone who truly cares about you in your corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Not just as a player, but as a person too. That is what's going to make all of the difference in your journey on and off the field. So here's the truth. The game's changing and you got 3 choices. You can keep doing what you're doing, knowing it's not enough to get you to where you want to go. You can try figuring it out all alone like I did, which took me years of trial and error. Or you can let me guide your lacrosse dreams through proven systems and support. So if you're ready to take your game to the next level, here's what happens next. Click this button or here or wherever it is, click the button, whether it's below the video, on the video. Based on your age and training preference, you'll either get immediate access to the training system itself, or you'll schedule a strategy call with me where we map out your custom path forward for your mind, your body, and your lacrosse skill. Look, the season is coming, and every day you wait, your opponent's getting a little bit better. I know I don't need to tell you that, but the game is also evolving too. So the question is, do you want to evolve with it or get left behind? Brutal, harsh, but true. So click the button. Let's get to work. I'll see you on the inside.